Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Callie, and today I'm going to go over all of the books that I am really excited for that are coming out in the month of May. So I know with everything going on, a couple of books have been pushed. So I will also go over a couple of those that were supposed to come out in May and give you their new release dates. So I'm going to start this like Sarah and I typically do, go in publication order. So starting on May 5th, the first book I'm really excited for is Dark Skies by Danielle Jensen. This is the sequel to Dark Shores, which was a very cool pirate religion type of story. And I'm pretty sure this series is supposed to be, I think in the last interview I saw that her doing is supposed to be like 5 or 6 books long. And I'm living for these covers. They're gorgeous. So I'm really excited to see where this adventure goes. The first book I did find to be a little info dumpy. So I'm hoping now that we have that information and background and rich history of the world that this can actually get into like the meat of the plot. And I'm curious to see like how she's stretching this out into a couple of books, because the first one felt very standalone to me. I actually didn't realize that it was a series until I went to review it and I saw that there was a sequel coming out. So it felt like a standalone, but I don't know if they did that because of the publishers or not. I don't really know. But overall, really excited for this one. The next book that's coming out on May 5th that I'm excited for is The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea by Maggie Tokuda Hall. This cover is phenomenal. I get a lot of Studio Ghibli, Howl's Moving Castle, all those kinds of films. I feel that a lot in this cover, and I'm really interested to see what it's about. Really all I know about it is there's pirates. There's a potential of the sea being personified, which you can kind of see in the cover. Like there's almost like a being in the sea, which reminds me of Ponyo. So I'm really interested to see what this story is. I'm interested if it's kind of going to be like Moana, where the sea is helping our main characters, or if the sea is the villain. I think a lot of ways where the sea is personified can lead to a lot of interesting plot lines. The next book that I'm really excited for is Betrothed by Kiera Cass. Kiera Cass is the author of the Selection series, which I read mid last year, I believe. I don't know, I read it at some point, and it was a perfect escape romance dystopian story. So I'm really interested to see what this new book is, because I'm pretty sure she hasn't come out with a new book since The Siren, which came out around the same time as The Selection. So I'm interested to see where this story kind of goes. I also have no idea if this is a series or not. All I know is this girl is supposed to marry the king, but she's in love with someone else. And that's just right up Kiera Cass's alley. So pretty excited. The cover is gorgeous, and I'm overall excited to have a cute little romance to break up a lot of the high fantasy that I've been reading. So I think this is going to be the perfect escape. Plus I've seen some finished copies. This book is actually kind of thick. Like it looks almost like 400 to 500 pages long, which maybe it won't be a perfect break with my high fantasy with that aspect, but oh well. The next book is another sequel that I'm super excited for, and that is Aurora Burning by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. This is the sequel to Aurora Rising, which I read around when it came out last year, and I was blown away. Amie Kaufman and Kristoff are also the authors of the Illuminae Files, which is a phenomenally written story, and it's in a different medium than books typically are, but Aurora Rising is written in that narrative format, and I think that they still excelled with the story. I am so blown away by the atmosphere, the characters. I'm like waiting for the stories to intertwine, but they keep telling us that it's not going to. So I'm really excited. The guy on our cover is Cal, who is just one of my favorite characters from the book one. So I'm really excited to see if we're going to get more of his perspective, because I loved reading his perspective in the first book. I'm also really curious to see, there was a character where her chapters were like half a page long. I'm really hoping we get more of her character, because I can just feel that her character is going to play a crucial role in what's going to be going on in this story. So I'm really excited to get more of her thoughts and opinions from her point of view, opposed to everyone else's point of view. Moving on to May 12th, I have Katherine Howard, the Scandalous Queen by Alison Weir. This is a part of Alison Weir's Six Tudor Queens. This is book 5, which is also wife 5, who is Katherine Howard, who is the youngest queen of the 6. She is 17 when she marries King Henry, and bad things happen to her. She's the other queen that gets her head knocked off. So I'm interested to see every book that Alison Weir has done in this series. You follow the queen and her point of view from her birth to her death, not just when she's queen. I feel like a lot of people focus only when Katherine Howard is queen for the historical moments for her. And I'm really interested to see, even though she is so young and naive, to see before she became queen and even those last moments before her death. Because her death speech was very controversial, and she was who I think did actually cheat on the king. But again, she was 17 or 18 when she became queen, and I think Henry was in his 50s when they got married, so it's a whole thing. I'm really excited to read this book. Katherine is one that, again, kind of like Anne of Cleves, I feel like the last 3, Anne of Cleves, Katherine Howard, and Catherine Parr, are kind of glossed over because there isn't as much drama with the 3 opposed to the first 3 wives. So I'm really interested to see what Alison Weir does with Katherine Howard and Catherine Parr's stories. And the last book that I am excited for the month of May comes out on May 19th, and this is probably, once it was announced, rose all the way to the top of my most anticipated reads of the entire year, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, which ended a while ago. I'm pretty sure it ended 2008, 2009-ish. So we're getting this prequel, which is set, I think, at the 10th Hunger Games, and we are following President Snow before he becomes president. I believe we are watching his rise to power. And that is so fascinating to me because we see what he became. I'm interested to see if that's where he started, and what Suzanne Collins will do to make us actually like him. Because from what I understand, it's in his point of view, and I have a hard time reading depending on the day, I have a hard time reading characters who I greatly dislike in their point of view because I just get annoyed very easily. So I'm interested to see if she's going to make us like him and we watch him rise to power and watch the power corrupt him, or if he starts off as just a villain. And either way, I am intrigued by this book. I also have no idea if this is a standalone prequel, or if there's going to be a whole series following President Snow or following other Hunger Games. I'm very, very excited to dive back into this world. I love the Hunger Games. It is one of my favorite series. I read it as it was coming out. I love the films. They're one of the better book to movie adaptations I think that are out there. So, and these rights for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes have already been bought by the same company that made the original Hunger Games movies. So we might get more Hunger Games movies. What? So very excited. I also have no idea how the timeline, I'm very curious about how the timeline's gonna work, because I'm really kind of hoping we get Mags's story, which I think she won the 11th Hunger Games, and Mags was just a phenomenal character that we only got to see for a brief period of time in book 2. So no matter what, I'm reading this immediately. I am very, very excited for this book. Hate the cover. Like a lot. It's an awful cover. Just horrific. So like I mentioned, there were 2 other books that were supposed to come out in May that I was really excited for. The first one of that is Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Barcia. Don't really know if I pronounced that correctly. This was supposed to come out, I believe, May 12th or May 19th, and has now been pushed to July 7th of this year. So it's still coming out this year, which is really exciting. It just got pushed a couple of months due to COVID-19. First off, this cover, that's the only thing that drew me to it, was how beautiful this cover is and phenomenal. The YA snake is going strong. And it just sounds like an interesting story. Girl, Serpent, Thorn. Like, I'm intrigued. It sounds, so many things can happen with that kind of title. But from what I understand, it is a princess who is trying to determine if she is good or evil because of something that lives inside of her. So she goes on this self-discovery journey to determine if she is a demon or if she is not. So that just seems like a very interesting take on our princess hero trope that I'm very interested and just captivated by. And the other book that got pushed from their May publication date is We Free the Stars by Hafsah Faizal. This was supposed to come out in late May and is now not coming out until January 19th of 2021. This is the sequel to We Hunt the Flame, which I read last summer, which was a phenomenally written Arabic story. It was a great fantasy. There were deserts, there was an evil prince who was trying to be a good prince. We had a rebel who was also an assassin, and we had sibling relationships, we had enemies to lovers romance. There were so many things going for this book. I really enjoyed it, and I was so looking forward to reading the sequel next month. Unfortunately, I'll have to wait until next year, but the cover is gorgeous. I am very excited. This is only a duology, so this will be the last book. But I love Hafsah Faizal's writing. It is so beautiful and very, not lyrical, but the way she describes the different mythologies and the history makes it so rich and dynamic. So I'm very excited to get to book 2. I'm hoping that maybe if the world calms down a little bit, the publication might be pushed forward, but a girl can dream. So those are all the books that I'm excited for, plus the 2 that were pushed from their May publication date. Let me know in the comments what books in May you're looking forward to, which ones I missed. I love looking for new books to read. And with all the extra time I have, I've been reading a lot. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. All of our links, Instagram, Goodreads, Sarah and Mine's blogs will be linked in the description below. Feel free to check out any of those, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!